Hey, what's going on, guys? Dope Swanner here, and oh man, I wanted to make this a little bit better a video, but I am pretty exhausted. It's like 2:40 in the morning, but I haven't made a video in a couple of days, and I've been meaning to. I just wanted to get this printer to where I wanted it to be before I did, but I put about 5 hours in today of just messing around with it, and I'm getting really close to where I want. So first and foremost, I'm sure you can see a couple differences from the last video, and if you can't, let me show you guys what I've done. For one, I've got a filament holder printed out on top of this printer that I found over on Thingiverse. They are really solid. I printed it actually with this printer. However, they are extremely curved on both sides, and originally I was just going to keep them because I was like, hey, they're really sturdy and it kind of looks like style or something like that, but I am going to reprint them. Basically, I was using PLA, and I was using the same settings as on my DaVinci, which is basically no hotbed and 195 degrees Celsius for the temperature, and that just was not working. It was working well. The only problem, was the curling or lifting of the corners of the prints, and it happened consistently, especially with these, which are longer prints. So for right now, I've basically got my PLA mastered, I would say, on this printer, and on my DaVinci, like I said, no hotbed and 195 on this machine. I'm running 60 degrees Celsius on the hotbed and 185 on the extruder, and that has been working out beautifully. I'm trying to think if there's anything I could show you guys that I printed. Not really off the top of my head. I mean, I have a little... I think I threw out most of the stuff that I had printed because they were just like trial and error stuff. There's a little cube that printed out, a PLA that printed out really good. So yeah, I printed that. Next thing I did was I got a LCD screen, which I wasn't going to get. I didn't really see a use for it, but a couple things happened. One, this printer has been disconnecting from my computer a decent amount, typically when I'm live streaming, which, speaking of live streaming, I should probably end my stream right now because I was live streaming. Specifically when I'm live streaming, I've got like my webcam going and a couple other things, and it, for some reason, seems to draw too much power from my USB port, and so it like resets my USB, I don't know, power for a second, which causes the prints to crash usually like an hour or two in. So it's completely fine if I'm not like streaming and doing a bunch of stuff, but if I am, you know, it acts up. So I figured, what the heck, I might as well get a screen in case I ever just want to pop in an SD card, load up the G-code, and print out as a standalone and not need to connect it to my printer. So I did do that. I picked this up off Amazon for, I want to say $17 total, which I'll put a link in the description if you want to take a look at it. And I printed out this mount. I printed out the case, and I printed out these little brackets that are basically mounted to the 2020 aluminum. It just pops right on. There's no screws there. It's so sturdy. I mean, it's amazing. Yeah, so that was the LCD screen wasn't too difficult to get going. I will say that I used the Marlin that was pre-configured from the company themselves, and when I enabled the LCD, it didn't work. It basically was just blue screen. And so what I ended up having to do was I went to actually the repository on GitHub for Marlin, and I downloaded a completely clean, non-edited version and just copied over or edited all of the edits that they had included in their version, and enabled this, and it worked fine. So I'm thinking that they chopped down some of the Marlin code, because if you go under configuration H, like the stock or default one from Marlin's GitHub, and you go on the one that they give you, theirs has a lot less options. So I don't know whether it's different versions or just whether they've kind of cut back on some of the code for simplicity. I really don't know. But all I had to do was basically load up that unedited Marlin, and everything worked flawlessly. Also, I changed a couple other things. The X end stop that was like clipped on down here by default is no longer there. I found this end stop on Thingiverse specifically for this printer, and it snaps onto both rails. Comes off and on really easy. You just basically pull, and see it's loose, and then it snaps on. It's solid enough. I mean, it's really good, and yeah, I like it. I had a couple times where it for some reason wasn't hitting the end stop on this style, like the clip-on style or whatever you want to call it that they give you by default, and with this one, flawless every single time. Also, so let's go ahead and look down here a little bit. Move my water bottle. I put the Y end stop in the front. again, I was having issues sometimes with it not hitting the bearing, and it was a pain in the ass having to reach the back and fix it. So now it's in the very front, which obviously the cable management needs to be handled again, which it will once I'm completely finished with what I got going on. And the biggest thing that I am proud of that I'm working on, that has been pretty much what spent my 4 or 5 hours today because it was not working right, was this bad boy right here, which is my auto leveling that I've been working on. So basically I have got a little servo right here. I found this bracket. Someone designed it for this printer too on Thingiverse. I printed it out. It took a couple prints for me to get it right. But yeah, printed it out. I have mounted the servo right here with this basically arm, and I used a default end switch right here. And so what this does is basically it takes 4 different points on the bed and takes the height difference. Oops, I'm dropping stuff. And it's supposed to send it over to the computer and it takes the difference in level into consideration basically when it's doing a 3D print, so it auto calibrates your bed, which is huge, which is like something that's why I don't care that it's taken 4 or 5 hours, because once you get it, it should be able to just work. That's the goal, the dream at least. So yeah, that's what I got going on. It's not perfect yet, but I finally got, like, the hardware's all on there fine. The code, it finally is working. It took me, that was the hardest part, was trying different things in the code, reading forums, looking at videos. It was such a stupid, weird thing that ended up making it function. So I'll run through it just real quick one time for you guys so you can see kind of how it works. It still, like I said, needs to be calibrated and the code needs to be worked on a little bit, but so okay, let's see. Raise this up a little bit. Okay, so let's see, I'm going to start a print right now. It's going to home. Now this is my new Z end stop. Arm pops out. Arm drops down. And then it's got a switch on the end of it. And it's going to go to 4 different spots on the motherboard. Or not the motherboard, I'm sorry, on the hotbed, basically getting different readings in terms of the height. And that's the only thing that I really need to work on, is that it's not going to the correct places. It needs to go a little bit further back. But again, it's really close, and that is making me extremely excited, like extremely excited. Because if I can get this calibrated correctly, it should be huge in terms of just saving me a hell of a lot of time and making my prints better quality. And this really was not easy to set up. I mean, the hardware part wasn't that difficult. It was more just the code. There wasn't very much there was videos on it that were really straightforward, but of course they didn't work correctly, and there's different versions of Marlin, and I followed all the steps on every video that I saw, and none of it worked, so I had to go digging. And I could actually run you guys through some of the stuff in a separate video, but I basically want to show you guys my updates. And so yeah, hopefully the next time you guys see me, I'll have that printed out, the filament holder correctly, and I will have this bad boy dialed in, and we will be printing out something, because I do want to do a quality print test for you guys, which will be coming really soon here. So anyways, hope you enjoyed this video. Again, links to the screen will be in the description, also the servo. I'll put a link in the description in case you want to do either of these things. And yeah, don't forget to like and subscribe for more videos, and I will see you later on. Dope Spawner, and I'm out. Peace, guys.